the arrival of the 3.1 update is upon us. Assurances were made that this update would, at last, address the overpowered nature of the DBS by implementing nerfs and adjustments. While indeed they delivered on reducing its damage output significantly, what crucial detail did they omit from disclosure? Let's start with the basics. How exactly does damage work in PUBG Mobile? Every weapon has its own individual damage output, which is then adjusted based on the specific body part it hits, and subsequently by a distance modifier that reduces damage for targets farther away. The hitboxes are divided as follows: head, body, which includes the neck, limbs, encompassing arms and legs, and finally, feet and hands, which can have different damage values for specific weapons, totaling 4 to 5 different zones. The distance multiplier is essentially negligible due to PUBG Mobile's limited render range, reaching a maximum of 390 to 420 meters depending on your location on the map. What's the mechanism behind shotguns? Shotguns operate uniquely compared to other firearms. When you fire a shotgun, it releases 9 individual pellets simultaneously, which is also why the game experiences performance issues when using one. Having grasped this concept, let's examine the calculations regarding the DBS. In the 3.1 update, the DBS features a base damage of 167, derived from its 9 distinct pellets, resulting in 18.6 damage per pellet. However, in the 2.8 update, the base damage stood at 191, equating to 21.3 damage per pellet. What does this difference mean? Well, it's a bit tricky to explain. Basically, the amount of damage you take depends on the gear you have. If you don't have a helmet or vest, you'll take bigger hits. And even if you do have them, remember they wear down with each hit you take. Let's consider the level 1 helmet as an example. It comes with 80 durability points and reduces incoming damage by 30%. However, it can't block all the pellets from the DBS shotgun. It can only absorb the damage from 4 pellets, leaving the other 5 pellets to hit you as if you have no helmet. Consequently, the damage you endure will be the combined result of all pellets hitting you. Even a level 2 helmet can only withstand 6 pellets, allowing the other 3 to inflict more damage. As for the level 3 helmet, if it is completely intact, it can withstand all 9 pellets and will be left with 3 durability points. This is a novel addition in this update. In these scenarios, you'd sustain roughly 261 damage with a level 1 helmet, 221 with a level 2 helmet, 135 with a level 3 helmet, and without any helmet, you'd endure 301 damage. In each case, you would be knocked down. In comparison to the 2.8 version, we observe a decrease of 44 damage for not wearing a helmet, 46 for level 1, 30 for level 2, and 20 for level 3. Nonetheless, none of these alterations are significant as they do not affect any of the outcomes. Changes have been made to body hits and limb damage. Similar to the helmet statistics, we observe the same trend for body shots. When hitting an opponent with all 9 pellets in the chest area, it inflicts 220 damage without a vest, 154 with a level 1 vest, 132 with a level 2 vest, and 99 with a level 3 vest. Compared to updates 2.8 and 3.0, this reflects a reduction of 15 damage for level 1 vests, 13 for level 2, 10 for level 3, and 21 for not wearing a vest. On the contrary, limb damage has been elevated. Previously, being struck on the limbs with all 9 pellets resulted in 99.7 damage, while hits on the feet inflicted 66 damage. Now, in version 3.1, the DBS inflicts 116 damage on limbs and 76 damage on feet. A new addition introduced in this update is the possibility of briefly surviving a DBS shot with a level 3 vest. However, this survival is fleeting. Why? Well, for the enemy to hit all 9 pellets on the vest, they must stand behind you. If you're unaware of their presence, you'll likely perish before being able to react due to the DBS's fast fire rate. They also sought to weaken its effectiveness by substantially increasing the damage reduction over distance. However, given its effective range of approximately 25 meters, coupled with a rapid fire rate and ample magazine size, this adjustment has proven to be insignificant. I view this attempt at nerfing the DBS as unsuccessful. Why is it so challenging to balance this weapon? I suppose the only way for people to truly comprehend how overpowered the DBS is to revisit the origins of PUBG Mobile. PUBG Mobile is essentially an imitation of the original PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds for PC, which was released in 2017, a year earlier than its mobile counterpart. Despite PUBG Mobile being more than a year behind in updates and features, the two games share striking similarities. Each update strives to bridge the gap in terms of functions, features, mechanics, and weapon balancing. The damage and effective range of the DBS are essentially identical between the two versions. Have you identified the issue yet? The maximum render distance for enemies in PUBG Mobile is 390 to 420 meters, whereas in PUBG PC, players can be rendered over 1,200 meters away. This implies that on PC, the DBS covers only 1.67% of the battlefield, whereas in the mobile version, it covers 5.95% to 6.41%. On mobile, the DBS is over 3 times more potent than its PC counterpart. Looking at it from this perspective, it's evident that the effective range of the DBS should ideally be under 7 meters. How do we accomplish this? Certainly not by merely reducing damage and adjusting multipliers. Since the DBS is a pump-action shotgun, the most sensible nerf would be to significantly increase the pellet spread. We already have a weapon in the game that has been nerfed in this manner, the MK14. It boasts the widest hipfire spread among all weapons, being 3 to 8 times larger than assault rifles and submachine guns, despite being a sniper rifle. The DBS and the M1014 shotgun need to be handled the same way due to their overpowered nature. What's your take on this? Is the current 3.1 nerf up to snuff?